The New River is considered to be one of the most contaminated waterways in the world. Today I spoke with a man who is familiar with this issue, and he is concerned with how it continues to affect the community, local and beyond.
As a lifelong Valley resident myself, I can tell you that I used to shop at the Vons right across from where I'm standing right now with my grandmother as a child.
Ryan Childress, an Centro attorney, says help might be on its way, maybe.
The state EPA has recently announced that there is funding that's coming from the federal government in the amount of $300 million through the new free trade agreement with Canada and Mexico.
This to be allocated to water pollution issues along the border.
Namely wastewater treatment plant construction, although the locations of that infrastructure investment has not been announced.
And there's more funding.
Another $225 million to NAD Bank, or the North American Development Bank, which would have money for infrastructure projects for pollution, and $25 million from the Senate to address the same kinds of issues.
State studies say the river has high levels of dangerous bacteria, heavy metals, and toxic chemicals known to cause cancer.
We have untreated sewage that flows through the New River. We have industrial waste that is being poured into the New River from maquiladoras, slaughterhouses, feed yards, and all other kinds of animal containment facilities that's flowing directly into here. And so all the diseases that could flow from that are diseases that our community is being exposed to. Officials in the Imperial County have been talking about it for 75 years, and yet sadly very little progress has been made. We still have the most polluted river in North America flowing right through one of our county's largest cities, Calexico, and meandering its way through the county all the way to the Salton Sea, where it deposits its pollution, which eventually becomes air pollution.
The river affects the area countywide.
Here at Buckland Park, I'm standing just a few feet from a group of young people that are outside playing in this windy day, enjoying what's otherwise good weather.
Unaware of the possible danger coming from polluted waters.
If you don't live right on the bank of the river, it's easy to forget the impacts that could be happening. What a lot of us don't realize is that there's research that suggests that some of the pollutants from the New River are able to become airborne and able to be breathed in by people around it.
Out of sight is a danger just the same.
We all breathe the same air here in the Imperial Valley, and so when those pollutants become airborne from the New River or from the Salton Sea via the New River, it poses a public health danger to all of us here in El Centro, Heber, Calexico, anywhere in the Imperial Valley.
He says now it's the right time for the right people to go after the money needed from those state funds.
The most important time for our community to stand up with a united voice and say loudly, and say it until they listen to us, that we need our share of those funds to address this problem that has gone on unmitigated for 75 years in our community.
The city of Calexico came up with the Parkway Plan, which would encase the river as it enters and crosses the city.
The first step that could be a quick step is to encase the New River, but that cannot be the only step. We can't put a Band-Aid on this festering wound that flows through our county. The second step has to be the construction of a wastewater treatment plant on the U.S. side of the border, which would finally treat the water coming from the New River and make it clean to clean water standards in California as it makes its way to the Salton Sea. That is the only solution that will work in the long term, and it has the added benefit of creating good paying jobs right here in our part of the country for our workers.
The exact locations for all the federal funding have not been decided yet. I also spoke to a Calexico city official who says that the New River Parkway plans are on hold indefinitely for lack of funds. Roy Durantes, RD Media.